Hi, everyone. It is Amanda and Sam from the Beyond doing a quick little intro of what to expect in this upcoming episode.
So we're all over the place, guys, with the state of the world. Amanda and I, the state of the world as a whole, obviously, is getting heavier and heavier by the day. And Amanda and I both kind of had rocky, bumpy emotional weeks on like personal levels that we had been processing before we got on the mic. And so we got on and we just kind of like went with it and started talking about things we talk about.
We start with terms of dating terms that shouldn't be a thing, but we never actually got there. That was the plan. Then we cover beauty trends that we don't think should exist.
Mm-hmm.
That somehow, then that pivots into social media and social media trends.
Mm-hmm.
Then that pivots to or leads to a very dark hole talking about the Epstein files. We don't talk about things specifically, so we don't need like a trigger warning or a content warning, but we do talk about it and, talk about the misogyny of it and things like that.
Yeah. And then we swing back to dating terms.
Just to close that loop for you in case you were really curious. And then we end talking about some of our pet peeves.
Yeah. Some of our less controversial and more controversial pet peeves. So this is a fun one. If you would like to see a little bit more of our personalities, this is where this is going to be encapsulated.
If you want a journey, this is a journey. Yeah. A journey into how Sam and Amanda's brains work.
And it's a ride. So without further ado, if you're still listening, here's the episode.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Nuanced Dated podcast. I'm Amanda White.
And this is Sam Dalton.
We are here with a bone to pick about not everything needs to be a new term.
Yes. Not everything needs a specific description to say what it is. I think some behaviors can just be behaviors. What started this for me, this realization, was nail colors.
Oh.
So like girls who are getting like their nails done, it would be like, I want blueberry milk nails. And it was light blue. Or I want cinnamon glazed maple donut. And it was just taupe.
We're going to circle back, but can I just dig into this for a second about
Please.
What is it? Why? I know, I guess Hailey Bieber started some of this, but I am much more adjacent to the beauty world than you.
Mm-hmm.
So these terms I know of more in the periphery. Yeah, I mean, why do we need things that are food related when it comes to beauty? It's very confusing to me. What happened to like ballet slipper, That seems it seems like a good name instead of, glazed pink donut nails.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The first time I noticed it would have been when I was still getting my nails done regularly. So that was probably like 2021 was the first time I heard like glazed donut. Mm-hmm. But also glazed donut was to identify like your cheek highlight.
Oh.
So that was kind of how it started, where like influencers who were testing out makeup for YouTube or on social media in general, they would swipe on a highlighter and they would be like, oh my God, like perfect glazed donut.
Very interesting. So funny to me about us growing up, we used to carry, probably you did too, like oil sheets because we were so afraid of shine.
To blot.
We
were so afraid. The blue
everything
ones
needed to be matte. Yes.
Yes.
And now we're like, insert a shiny spot on my cheek. I'm not saying I don't think it looks good. I agree. I think we were too matte. I don't know. The way beauty trends change truly just makes me lose my mind a little bit because I'm just like, this isn't just like a piece of clothing or a piece of furniture. No. This is like your body.
Yes.
Like the way plastic surgery goes in and out of trends is mind-boggling to me.
Wild. And I always hated when like brows were a trend.
Okay, can I say something mean?
Please.
In 2020, some people got way too into their brows.
Agreed.
Like,
I would absolutely agree.
Did not look good. Did not look good.
No. The Anastasia dip brow days were scary days.
Is that what that was? When people like
Yeah.
basically shaved their eyebrows? And the fact that we had something happen where people shaved their eyebrows to then draw them on better is the most insane timeline.
I forgot. So the dip brow was literally it comes in like a little teeny like little pot that has like a screw lid, and it's you essentially get like a paintbrush. And so what you are technically supposed to use it for is like filling in strands into your brow. But people would do like line and then line underneath and then fill it all in. It had its roots in 2016 Full Beat.
Full Beat?
Full Beat is like primer, foundation, concealer, baking.
Okay, why is that called Full Beat?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, what is baking?
So baking is you take a like neutral colored powder.
Yeah. And
so after you put your concealer and your foundation on, you will pat the powder like under your eyes, usually like under where like your bronzer would go, like along the sides of your cheeks. Or like if you have smile lines like I do, you'd put it there and on your forehead and you let it sit and it bakes in the liquid products that you put on so that way they don't crease as much.
Oh.
So then you would do like typically what I would do when I was still doing like the whole thing is you would like bake under your eyes and you would put a bunch of powder under there and then you would literally do like your eyeshadow.
Oh, I feel like I see this. And then people like dust it off at the end, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then you could dust it off because then the pigment would just fall in the powder and then you could just like swipe it off. But with that said, in terms of terminology, I kind of think the OG influencer makeup world started a lot of the language trends that we see. And I also think it's a way to like garner up engagement.
Yes. No, I mean, unfortunately, as you know, when you're online, you end up seeing tons of accounts whose sole priority is help you grow your account.
Yes.
And the tips range from the most obvious thing someone could ever say, like literally people say, respond to comments, share a story.
Share a story.
2, make up your own word, create a community, call your community members a name so that they like you and everything in between. So I think you're right.
We still haven't come up with a community name for you guys, by the way.
Because anything we've tried to come up with feels forced and like we're going to, I don't know. People
weird.
can name themselves.
Yeah. TBD. We'll keep working on it. But yeah. And so now I've been seeing the language like more so in dating.
Yes.
Ghosting, deading, future faking.
I remember when breadcrumbing. That was one of the first things that I was like, oh, wow, this is
Yeah.
It's not a bad term. I think what's so hard about all these terms, though, is like there's a fine line between the difference between breadcrumbing and not being sure about someone and trying to figure it out and then ending it. Like, I know that's different than breadcrumbing.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think the hard part with when you make up definitions of things is people don't really agree on the definitions of things. And then also, as we've talked about with actual medical diagnoses, go listen to our episode about, the pros and cons of self-diagnosis. There's something that happens called concept creep, where we expand what started as breadcrumbing becomes someone just, not texting fast enough or whatever.
Right. I think what I feel concerned about, and I should keep in mind, I literally don't care if someone says like, I want blueberry milk nails. Like that has no bearing on my life. I think it's silly to say you want light blue, but
yeah, maybe
whatever.
We're just like old millennials that are like, stop calling it that. Call it what we used to call it.
It's just a color. It's light blue. I'm confused. Yeah.
Probably that's what boomers said to us when we were like a ballet slipper. Does OPI have a color called blueberry milk? Like,
so what with like the gel nail girlies, the problem
do they mix it?
it has to be mixed, and a lot of times, like for the glazed feature, there is a very specific like top coat that has to go on. So it's not just a singular like good old OPI
Got it.
color.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I in the beauty industry I can kind of see it because it's very descriptive and apt and what have you. I think where I start to take issue with it is where it feels like we are trying to name every type of behavior possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is I feel like when you name something in an area as vulnerable as dating, what ends up happening is that thing then becomes a sign that someone is toxic, when exactly as you said, like they might just be like trying it out and they're like literally talking to you about getting to know you, like the future faking that I brought up to you. I'll explain that.
What is future faking?
So future faking is where you're dating someone like more consistently and they start talking about the future to kind of make you think that this is going a certain direction. And then they will end it or they'll ghost you or whatever. At some point when you're dating, you do have to talk about the future. Like you do have to kind of talk about like, what would life look like? What do you want to do? What do you want to see? But like,
and I do think you have to talk about it before you can 100% commit to it. And that is what's hard about it.
Right. Because if you're talking to someone about the future and you don't like the future that they have in mind, you still have time to course correct and get out of that future. So it sucks and it hurts. And as someone that is in the dating world as we speak, it's freaking hard and it's very vulnerable. And that type of rejection is really painful. But I think we have to be careful of just saying that like anybody who does that is like future faking me. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure there are some people out there that are cruel and callous enough that they would lead somebody on because they don't want to have a difficult conversation. But I don't know if that needs a name.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, I feel like it's similar to like, I don't know, during Sex in the City where it was like the wheeze, right? He weed me. It's like when he would start saying, we're going to do this, we're going to go do that, we're going to do this. And yeah, it's hard because you do in dating have to like try things on. And I think I worry too sometimes that I think about this with scripts too, with how like with friendships and things like that, we get like so obsessed with the right words, the right thing to say. I think this even sometimes about like all of the good we've tried to do on Instagram, for example, with like how to support a friend, how to help someone dealing with grief. I've then also seen it where people are like, well, there's wrong things to say. Like I'm afraid, like I accidentally asked them what I can do for them instead of just doing it. But then there are people like, I don't know, this might be a hot take, but I feel this way sometimes with like postpartum content.
Oh,
like there's a lot of, and right, for context, I've been postpartum. I have a lot of compassion for how hard and intense of a time it is. I'm not advocating for grandparents to do things that are not like appropriate or not help. But I worry sometimes we like scare people into being like, well, you know, I have to go over and I can't say the wrong thing, or I have to know what to drop them off. Or, you know, sometimes online we're like, if your friend doesn't tell you this, it means that they can't talk to you. You know, some of those like really intense
interpretations.
I've seen it where then people are like, oh, well, I don't know what to do then, or I'm afraid of what if I drop off the wrong thing for them postpartum, or like, I don't know, some well-meaning people want to come over and help and they probably ask to hold the baby and you have a right to say no, but them asking to hold the baby also doesn't mean that they're a terrible person who's completely bypassing your boundaries necessarily. And that's something I worry about, of just like the intense rules we've like, I think that's where I'm coming. It's like, the labeling can create these rules and then people think there's a right and a wrong way. And then we can like judge someone when the nuances, maybe they were doing the best they could and you have an opportunity to tell them how you'd like to be treated. Like we can't assume everyone knows how to treat us either.
I also think bad behavior is actually a lot more noticeable than people want to say. I think there is an energy sometimes on social media that everything is deceptive. And I think that kind of comes with the naming.
Yeah.
right? Like, here's what you haven't understood. Here's what you've missed. Here's this explanation of this obscure behavior that maybe you noticed in this last relationship that ruined your life. And this was the thing that if you had seen it, you would have known what to do. And I think when people are being dicks, it's like really obvious. And like, I think to take it to something like postpartum, that very vulnerable period of life, or to dating, which is also insanely vulnerable, just in a different way, I think we have become way too paranoid and rigid around what are actually normal experiences. Meaning like postpartum is going to be chaotic and up and down and all over the place because that is how it has always been. And that is how it always will be.
And it's gotten worse because we genuinely don't have enough support. And like most of us live far away from family members and friends, and community has eroded.
Yes, absolutely.
But we also can't have like one or two friends shoulder all of that responsibility necessarily either.
No. And with dating, it's like, but sometimes you're not a good fit. And like people, and I am speaking on this from personal experience, people are allowed to not like you. Like, people are allowed to not connect to you. And that doesn't mean that they are inherently evil or bad or they've done something wrong. It hurts. It's frustrating. You have to like grieve time and effort that you put in at varying levels. But I think overall, like, even connecting these two life events that feel really far apart.
Yeah.
But you have to start one to get to the other in a lot of instances, right? I think we've just become paranoid of, one, people doing us wrong.
Yeah.
Or two, doing somebody else wrong, that we're all just turning inside of ourselves and choosing to not do anything because there might be a risk that somebody misunderstands something, or somebody doesn't like something, or somebody doesn't like us. And I just think we are very afraid of vulnerability right now, I think.
And I think to your point too, Sam, it's like we know more than ever about what's wrong and the right way to date and the wrong way to date and the right thing to say to a friend and the wrong thing to say to a friend.
Yeah.
But we have less skills than ever of what to do when we fuck up.
Yeah.
What to do to repair the relationship, what to do if you forget to text a friend or whatever it is. And I think that's a huge gap.
Massive, massive gap. And I don't know where like the fear first started, because I think it's so multifaceted, I think. And I think right now what's hard too is like everything is on fire in the most horrific way.
And there are actual, like, insane conspiracy theories coming true right now.
Literally.
Like, I'm not
but
laughing
it was the
about
wrong.
It's the most horrifying thing ever.
Let's just name it for what it is. The Epstein files. Yeah. The Epstein files.
And somehow we have more evidence than ever.
And nobody's doing anything about it.
I don't know. I used to have faith 6 months ago, maybe a little more than that, that this would be the Watergate. That's what I used to tell myself every day to get through the day.
Well,
and I'm like, this is 100 times worse than Watergate, and nothing has happened.
Well, here's the double fuck you to this. The people who are in those files are the ones in charge of holding the people in the files to account. So we're literally watching these people burn the world down. And like, I think that's what's kind of hard sometimes, like even on a personal level, sometimes with the idea of accountability, that is a value that is so intrinsically interwoven into my life and my body. And it's something I live by. And it sends me up a wall when people are openly like defying taking accountability for some of the most heinous, horrific, evil, doesn't even cut it, like satanic shit. And I haven't even done a deep dive into these files. This is just stuff that I have seen shared by other influencers. And what I've seen so far makes me sick. Like, I literally get nauseous when I have read some of the stuff that has come up in these emails. And so I think like at a larger level, I think there's a lot of people looking around saying, well, what is the point?
Right. Nothing
Like
matters.
if people are allowed to be this fucking depraved boldly and with their whole chest and bring people into this, and they make jokes about it and they think it's funny, and people are fighting tooth and nail to get access to these events, like, you can't help but sit there and be like,
Yeah.
we deserve to be shot into the sun.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's a really good point. And I think that is the most, I mean, there's a lot of issues, but like it's one of the biggest issues with, having someone at the highest level of power who has no sense of decency
None.
at
He doesn't.
all. Is it just has these like horrific ripple effects. And I always go back to and think about like what we teach kids and how we wouldn't let a child talk like the way that he talked to Caitlin Collins. Like, and that's right. Nothing compared to what he's done. But it's like, that's where I'm just like, we sit here and we teach our kids to be honest, and you have to say you're sorry and to try to interact with society in some sort of good faith. And it actually, this is like a random story, but Sam, I didn't tell you this. The other day, I was parked on my street, and I was parked the wrong way on my street, which is fine because I live on a not busy street. And I was doing like a K turn or whatever, because I didn't want to drive down my street and go all the way around the block, because it's much harder to get out down the block on the other road because it's busier. My neighbor, who's probably 80 years old, I don't really like him. I've never really liked him. The first thing he said to me when I met him was that Ron DeSantis cured mental illness because of book bans. So we're not, never really liked this man.
Solid.
I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating. He came up to my window as I was turning around and yelled at me, "Are you really that lazy that you're not going to drive around the block?" And I was like, what? He said it again. He goes, "Are you really that lazy? You're going to ruin your neighbor's lawn?" First of all, I was not ruining my neighbor's lawn. The lawn I was pulling around in front of, which I was in the street. I was not on anyone's lawn. Was my lawn, also not my neighbor's. And I was so shocked. I I was in the car with my mouth agape, hanging open. And I started saying, and I shit you not, he goes like this, and he stuck his tongue out at me in the same way that Trump made fun of that disabled reporter all of those years ago.
What the fuck did you do?
I cried and drove away because I don't do well with conflict that's very confrontational. And I was like scared of him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, this feels not true. This feels like a movie. This is insane. And then he talked to my husband the other day and walking around like he's normal. And I'm just like, I can tell what, his politics are based on what he first said to me. But that just made me be like, this is the impact.
That's misogyny.
Like, yeah.
That's misogyny. For him to treat Mike just fine.
Yeah.
And treat you like that truly is misogyny. To be so blatantly disrespectful to a woman in a way that I know for a fact he would never be to a man. And I think
it's a good point. I didn't even think about it that way.
That is just repulsive behavior. And I think that is what the ripple effects of Trump are almost incalculable. But if you start to try to grasp like what he has allowed of people, it is for people to be their worst, most reprehensible selves, the worst, most reprehensible versions of themselves, and that being that version of yourself is the best version.
No, I mean, it's like I left feeling ashamed and embarrassed.
Yes.
I did nothing wrong, and he literally was sticking his tongue out at me. But I left feeling ashamed.
But I think, Amanda, like as a woman, I think every single woman listening to this can think of a moment where a man has made us feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that is how scary common it is. Mm-hmm. And when Trump lambasts Caitlin Collins in front of 100 of her colleagues
And no
says
one stands up for her.
And no one fucking stands up for her. And also, JD Vance has an interview with godforsaken Megyn Kelly the next day and says, she just needs to have some fun. Like, it is, I cannot convey in words the disgust and the depth of the hatred that I have for some of these people. And I used to try to like talk out of that, like, oh, well, these are people like I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I've seen enough. Yeah. I've seen enough over the last decade from all of these people. And I think for me, the breaking point really was the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. And as these have been slow rolled out, even though they've been redacted to hell, what hasn't been redacted is enough to only make me assume that what is redacted is like life altering in it being seen. And I don't know.
Remember when the most scandalous thing was, and we thought the smoking gun was the picture that he drew? Remember when we were all shocked by that? We were like, that I remember being like, this is going to take him down. This might be it.
No. Here's the
like,
thing.
maybe we're all in a bad dream. Maybe, I don't. But then, slavery existed. We had the Jim Crow laws not that long ago. And I have to keep orienting myself in that.
Same. There's been horrific things happening for forever.
We're better at pretending. Or we had leaders who were better at pretending and playing nice than, Trump lets out all the evils that have been under the surface. My God, I've seen some light and love influencers that are literally doing the QAnon 2020 thing that are like, the wrath is coming. Like, we need to, all of the darkness is coming out. This is a good thing.
Here's one thing I am going to say. Mm-hmm. If you are someone who has been a victim of sexual abuse or sexual assault, or someone in your life has been sexually abused, or you have ever had pregnancy loss or had an infant pass away, I would suggest avoiding reading these. We don't need you to read these. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that in that I'm trying to keep you on the outside. What I am trying to say is I find myself I have not been through those things.
Yeah.
Right? And some of these things that I have seen on social media the past couple days are haunting me.
Yeah.
And I want to give you the permission that if you are somebody that has experienced something like this, or even somebody that finds themselves to be incredibly tender to that type of information, don't go looking for this. Mm-hmm. You can be an advocate for good and change and justice and do good in the world without having to know these gory details. Mm-hmm. There are people who are trained to see things like this. There are people who are trained to have that be part of their career, be it me as a therapist, be it attorneys, be it advocates, be it whoever. I think we have to believe that at some point there will be a reckoning and there will be justice. I don't know what that's going to look like, but there are in France, in the UK, in Italy, there's a couple, I think in Australia, they are filing charges against the people that have been in these files if they contribute to crimes committed within their country. And so I think that is something that gives me hope. I really wish it was coming from us. I really wish we were doing something about this. But as I said earlier, the person who is responsible for all of this is literally sitting in the Oval Office. I just want to if you're listening to this and you're feeling upset, or you're like, oh, like I haven't seen it, tread very lightly. Tread very, very, very lightly.
Well, I think the hard thing too, to go back to what we were talking about with how you were saying, I think we're a lot more like paranoid on social media and stuff. Yeah. And I think the other big problem is that, everything is framed now on social media on purpose for the algorithm, because they know it will help people grow, or not help people grow. They know it will help their accounts grow, is framed as the hidden secret no one's telling you, the surprising truth. And the worst part is I literally know about SEO from like being a business owner, from knowing about blogging. And like to be able to rank, you have to use these dumbass words. So it just sucks all around the internet. And I don't know what the line is.
Yeah.
Even obviously, like I'm extremely diligent about like what I say, even if it's like the surprising truth about imposter syndrome. Like,
right.
if you guys read that blog, it's not surprising. But it's that. And then it's also like all of this anti-establishment stuff. And the ramification of less community is also less trust in each other. And then less trust in each other results in less community. And then less community results in less trust. And it's this, self-deepening hole that we're kind of all stuck in. All right, if you're listening to this and feeling like something is landing, like you keep hearing yourself in what Sam and I are talking about, I want you to pay attention to that, because when that happens, it's not a coincidence. And if you've been thinking about therapy, but you've really had not great luck, you want someone who gets it, not just clinically, but personally, I want to share with you about my practice, Therapy for Women Center. All of our therapists have actually been through the things we treat, whether that's trauma, anxiety, eating disorders, parenthood. When you're sitting there and talking about hard things, you know that the person on the other side really gets it. That's really why I started my practice, because I was sick of going to therapists who didn't fully understand the things that they were treating. At this point, we have over 30 therapists, and we actually hand match you to the right one based on what you're going through. And if we don't get the match right, we'll waive your intake fee and help you switch to another therapist in the practice. We really feel like finding the right therapist shouldn't feel like another thing to white knuckle through. When you reach out to us, you can talk to our intake coordinator, you can email us, you can text us. We'd love to hear from you. We serve 42 states online, in person in the Philadelphia area, but right now we have immediate openings in North Carolina, Arizona, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and many more, South Carolina, Ohio. We'd love to support you if you're looking for a new therapist. Reach out to us at therapyforwomencenter.com, or you can text us at 215-847-6749.
I just think like the biggest thing that has been hard for me is the complete abandonment of anything that resembles trying to do good. Mm-hmm. Like that doesn't exist right now. And the thing I find hilarious is, another example is Jeff Bezos. Mm-hmm. He buys the Washington Post 12 years ago, pumps a bunch of money into it, doesn't want to actually invest in some of the things that would have helped turn the paper around, didn't lean heavily on the things that were succeeding at the paper. Then in October 2024, kills the opinion board's opportunity to post their endorsement of Kamala and says, well, moving forward, we won't be doing that at all. Mm-hmm. And they lost over a quarter of their subscribers. Mm-hmm. A quarter of their paid subscribers went out the door. And now he just gutted it and doesn't really care.
Doesn't sound like he's a very good businessman with the Washington Post.
No, he doesn't.
It's almost like he wanted to ruin it.
Yes. It's almost like he didn't give a fuck. And I think that is what is so hard for me, is just seeing this handful of men mm-hmm. who are all depraved mm-hmm. and unwell in their own ways just break everything because they've decided it's best for them. And that is what makes me feel like we need matriarchy. Men are great in their own right, and they've had a chance. They've had their chance to be in charge. Truly.
I think we've lost all of our male subscribers now.
I think we've lost all of our male listeners. We loved you. We still love you. If you're listening to this, you're not one of the ones I'm talking about. But I think Elon Musk, what? Pete Hegseth, what? Joel Webbin, why? Why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate women so much? I can't wrap my brain around it.
I can't really either. I just always thought, which this is such a naive, dumb thing, but I just remember when we were first, when Brett Kavanaugh, right? Yeah. When all of that happened, and that felt like the worst thing that ever happened to us. And I don't know. I used to really, especially, and then I think it was really cemented for me with Roe, when Roe fell, is I just thought it was such an ironclad.
Same.
How can you not imagine your daughter? If you have a daughter, how? I was like, people are gonna feel like regret this. People are going to, men will feel compassion towards this. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's just, yeah. I don't know. Or even like libertarians, like you guys are so against freedom. How?
How? That's your whole shtick. Your whole shtick is like, I won't tell you to do, you don't tell me what to do. That's your whole thing. And now you're all telling everybody what to do. I think it's really dark. And I think what I try really hard to keep like a forward thinking attitude. But I think something I've been trying to allow myself to do more is acknowledge how fucked it is. And I think there was just something about all the stuff that's happened even in just like the last month.
Yeah.
Like I think everything that happened in January specifically, it just really, the disgust that I have is like overwhelming. I think we have to like hold hands with that sometimes because that fuels you.
Well, I was thinking the other day, like I was thinking about anger and what is the difference between anger that fuels us and anger that eats us alive. And I think it is whether you do something with it eventually. You don't need to do anything right now.
Yeah.
But it's like whether, you know, it can be channeled into something, which no emotion is good or bad. It's all how it is. Versus I think it's really hard, when anger sort of destroys you and that resentment of hating everyone comes at the cost of you basically hating yourself and hating the world so much that you hate your life.
I think that's a really important distinction that I hadn't thought of in that way before.
But I also never want to be like, you have to do something with your anger. You don't have to. But I think you can't let it eat you alive.
You have to drive in, spend the night, and then allow yourself to like get in the car and leave. Truly.
We could end on this. Just cap it off as the wildest, weirdest episode ever.
This is
join us
the
on this
weirdest
full circle journey. Okay, Sam, do you know what roaching is? As a dating term, not as like smoking. It is quietly dating multiple people at once and only revealing it when confronted, similar to how cockroaches hide in the dark. Like, no, that's just being a fuckboy. That's just dating multiple people at the same time.
But also, like, the question I have too is like, okay, is that somebody that's in multiple committed relationships? Because if you're not committed to anybody, it's technically
dating. So
quietly dating, whatever. Okay.
Pocketing. Okay. I feel like you've heard of that one.
I don't know if I have. It sounds familiar.
Pocketing is intentionally not introducing a partner to friends or family to keep the relationship hidden.
Okay.
Not a bad one.
That's decent.
Cloaking. Do you know what cloaking is? It is a harsher version of ghosting. It's when a person stops all communication and blocks you.
Oh.
Still feels like ghosting, but.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Woke
they don't
fishing?
Oh, God. Is this like they lie about their political affiliation?
Horrific.
Do you know how many men say swipe your vote?
Swipe your vote.
Swipe your vote. Right.
Oh, wait. Okay, so left means no.
Left means no. Right means...
Oh, that's gross. I don't like that at all.
It's dark.
That is dark.
It's dark. Dark in these streets. Anyway, continue.
Kitten fishing?
It's
a milder form of catfishing.
What? What does that mean? What are they doing?
A milder form. They present to be perfect.
What?
They're presenting like they're perfect, but they're not. So they're kitten fishing you.
Okay.
Okay. Zombieing. It's when a person who previously ghosted you suddenly reappears, rises from the dead, and acts like it never happened. Like I just have to laugh at people being like, oh my God, he zombied me.
He zombied me. It's like, okay, here's the other thing though. A lot of these people are acting like all of these things just like happen to them and they have no say.
Just because someone zombied you doesn't mean you have to respond.
Yeah, like that's lovely that they want to pretend like nothing happened, but like, guess who can pretend like something happens? You.
Groundhogging? Consistently dating the same type of person, ignoring red flags.
That doesn't need to be a term.
Delusionship? A one-sided imaginary relationship built on fantasy, unrealistic expectations, and complete lack of real-world intimacy. I think that's just delusion.
That's just delusion. That we don't have to add ship to the end of that. That's just
Fexting. Fighting with a partner specifically over text messages.
Oh, come on. What?
Oh,
He
man.
texted me.
What else?
See, all of that just like stresses me out.
Rusting, a combination of romanticizing and lusting after someone, phase in long-term relationships.
So you're developing feelings for someone? Like what? I'm rusting. Why does that have to have a negative connotation to it? Oh my God.
I think we rest our case. There's too many words.
There's too many words.
For things that don't need words.
No. I made a post about this a little bit. I do think we have overcomplicated a lot of things. Like, I think bad days are normal.
Yeah.
Bad dates are normal. It's normal to not feel great. It's normal to feel blech. Like, I think social media became this landscape where everybody came on and was so desperate for connection and validation that they just began to like spew the worst like parts of their life, right? Like the things that they were the most anxious about, the things they were most insecure about, the things they were most scared of. And so now I think everybody assumes like, oh, well, this whole like a bad day means I have to like be fixing something in my life, or like if I have a bad date, that must mean it's like a personal problem, or like when I think it's just life happens.
Yeah.
Like life is challenging and it's difficult. And when you start adding like other humans into that equation, you lose all control of anything other than yourself. Well, we are firmly in February right now, which many would say is the month of love. Good old Valentine's Day. However, I also think love can be expanded just beyond the typical couples experience, right? You love your family, you love your friends, you love your kids, you love your pets, and everybody needs a little present sometimes now and then to be reminded of why we love them and we're thinking of them and we care about them. I need to tell you about two things that I think would make phenomenal presents for literally anybody in your life. The first are the Cozy Earth bamboo pajamas. They have changed my life in terms of pajamas. I struggled for a really long time finding pajamas that I liked. They never felt fully comfortable to me. I had a hard time finding the right brand. And when I found these, it literally changed my life. I truly cannot wait to go to bed at night. The second gift is their classic cuddle blanket. Now, the story with this blanket is my heat has broken 3 times in the last 3 weeks. I'm dealing with it. Don't worry. We're finding solutions. But this blanket is the warmest, best quality blanket I have ever owned in my life. And it has saved my life in my apartment when my apartment has been 54 degrees. And in fact, at night, that was what I used to put over my duvet. And I have never been warmer despite not having heat in my apartment. So I cannot upsell this blanket enough to you. It is truly the best, greatest blanket I've ever had in my life. And the great thing about Cozy Earth is there's 2 things I want to make sure to point out to you. The first one is you get a 100-night sleep trial on the pajamas. So if you don't like them, you can return them in 100 days. You also get a 10-year warranty on the product. So if anything ever goes wrong with the products, but you want to keep them, you have a 10-year warranty. Okay. Now I have a gift for you. With all of this said, use code NUANCE for 20% off at checkout. That's code NUANCE, NUANCE, for 20% off your entire order. Celebrate everyday love with comfort that makes the little moments count.
I think that's like speaks to the overcorrect. You know, social media was like perfect and no one said anything. And then everyone started like word vomiting. And there's like no, you're either all or nothing. Your life is either perfect or you're immortalizing that horrible day you've had.
Yeah.
And then it's a moment. Like, I think that's the problem too, is people forget that people in moments of sadness, horror, overwhelm, whatever, then it is like one moment that they felt and they may feel differently later, but then it is like immortalized as how that person feels all the time necessarily. And then that leads to rumination, getting stuck.
I've been collecting a list of my pet peeves.
I do like your pet peeve posts.
Oh, I hate sunset colored backgrounds with solid black shadows for art.
I didn't understand when I saw. I was like, I don't understand this.
I know.
I was like, I'm too dumb to understand what she's talking about.
I hate anything painted at a paint and sip.
Oh, same. I hate
all of them.
No, I don't. This is my
it.
problem. We were talking about hobbies. If you want to hear us talk about hobbies on Substack, and Sam tries to cure me of my lack of hobbies, and we end the conversation by Sam being like, I don't know what to tell you. I want to do art, but I don't know what to do with it. Like, should I throw it away? That's how I feel. Like I have to throw it away because I don't want this thing in my house.
That's very fair. I would throw away whatever I made at a paint and sip. Do you throw away Peyton's art?
I collect some of it.
Okay,
but like
you keep the ones that
like I have a little bulletin board.
Oh yeah,
with it. And I also, oh my God, there are these amazing people online that if you send in your kids' art, they will like make this big, beautiful custom art piece.
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
Beautiful,
that's lovely.
Love that. But yeah, I mean, it's also like she's really young, so her art right now is mostly made by her teacher. You know, like she brings home a fully created Christmas tree.
Oh yeah. You're like, you didn't
do this.
Yeah, I love you, but you didn't do that. Oh, the songs they play in reality shows.
I agree. It's like
the ones where they're like, I'm a jaguar in the darkness.
Yeah, it's
like if you pay attention to the lyrics, it's awful.
It's because it's what kind of music is that? Not royalty-free music. They don't splurge on real music.
Yeah. No. And it's like over like weird doomy techno.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what are your other pet peeves?
Sinks that are dirty with no dishes in them.
Okay.
So like when people leave like stuff all in there. It's like, just clean the fucking sink. When people put dear so-and-so to start a post. Like when people are like, dear blank, you need to start doing this. Or like, this is
dear
stupid.
Overworked mom.
Yeah. Sincerely. Like I just, I hate it so much.
I'm going to collect these and do a post tomorrow that's like, dear ADHD. Dear.
Yeah, dear ADHD. Like, do you have ADHD or do you just have a short attention span? Sincerely, a therapist. Like, get out. Oh, also, I have noted that men have two greatest fears on the dating apps.
Yeah.
The first one is they are terrified that they will not be able to go on spontaneous adventures.
Everyone on dating apps loves to travel and loves spontaneous adventures. And you guys, no, not everyone does. Stop.
No.
Stop lying.
And I would actually say most people don't.
I would agree.
Like most people are fine with plans. Like let's all grow up. And then the other thing they're terrified of is taking life seriously.
Isn't that the worst insult to women?
Horrified.
It is always, to me, like I've never ever heard a man be accused of taking life too seriously ever.
No, never. And I always want to be like, what does a serious life look like for you? What does a serious life make? Yeah.
Children?
Or my favorite, figuring out what I want.
Oh, yeah. No. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Why is it my job?
So these people are not kitten fishing you, Sam.
They are not kitten fishing me. Absolutely not. No.
Okay. We hope that you got something along the way, something for everyone. We start by thinking this is going to be a nothing episode. Then we talk about the Epstein files, misogyny, the state of the world, back to dating trends, and then controversial opinions. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you for this therapy session that you afforded us. As per usual, anything that you could do to rate, review, share, subscribe, get the word out means a lot. We post bonus episodes to Substack about every other week or so. And we have a bunch of other content over there. We'd love to see you over there. And if not, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.